Welcome traders, welcome to another weekly Forex forecast. Third week of the month coming up after the previous weekly strong bull move on DXY that we have that the market still in a bullish trend. This week we can expect again further volatility. If we look at the weekly chart on DXY, we can see that as expected DXY has formed a bullish candle. Now let's see in the upcoming week what kind of opportunity we have in those instruments. I will be doing a complete multi-time frame analysis from A to Z to see what kind of trading opportunity we have in all those instruments. Now before I go through the analysis, traders, make sure that you give a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't done yet. So with that being said, let's begin this week's weekly Forex forecast. Okay, data. So let's begin with first of all DXY. Let's see what kind of opportunity we have in this instrument. Looking at the monthly chart on DXY to see overall picture in the market. Now from the monthly, we can see that this is a long-term bearish market. We have seen that DXY had a massive drop to the support level, and then the market managed to bounce back up with a stronger momentum. In the first 2 weeks, we saw that there is a strong trend on DXY to the upside, and what is going up is likely to go up. Therefore, we still can expect further upside on DXY. Dropping down to the weekly chart to see how the market might be doing, we can see that from the weekly perspective, this is the weekly bullish candle on DXY, followed by past week we saw a narrower candle formation, which is basically also a bullish, potentially bullish continuation pattern. And we see that there is an important level of support here, and also support here. And we can expect on DXY for the market to drop, retest, and then to continue to bounce back up to create a new higher high. Now dropping down to the daily chart, what we can see that from the daily perspective, this is the daily bullish price action, and we can see a strong bull move. We have seen that there is a strong momentum here with narrow to doji formation on the daily, followed by we can see another bullish candle formation on the daily time frame. Last day of trading week, we saw after this doji a narrower candle. The market might preparing for a deeper pullback. As we can see that the market in this move, it's a full bull move, and we haven't seen enough pullback in this market. What we can expect on DXY for the price to drop for a deeper pullback and then grab liquidity and then to continue to rise to the upside. This is the level that what I think that DXY might come for a deeper pullback, as we see back-to-back 2 daily doji where there is a high liquidity. As the price moves from liquidity to liquidity, we can expect on DXY to come for a break of structure. If we look at this 4-hour time frame, which is the intraday perspective, we can see the market is respecting this 10 EMA, which is a sign that this market in a strong trend, and we haven't seen any significant break of structure. As if we closely look at this market structure, we can see the market slowly getting exhausted. The bulls are getting exhausted. We might see a potential break of structure that could be up to this level or this level. That might give again another momentum on DXY. So this could be the potential wave on DXY, and based on that we can analyze other instruments such as the euro dollar, Aussie dollar, British pound, US dollar, and other pairs, that how we can see what kind of opportunity we have. So let's start with the euro dollar. Let's see what kind of opportunity we have now. As euro dollar is just a mirror of DXY, if we look at the monthly chart on euro dollar, we can see that from the monthly perspective, this is the monthly drop here on euro dollar. We can see that from here there is a massive bounce to the upside, followed by this is the monthly candle on euro dollar. We have seen that there is a significant drop, and as expected this market is moving back down with a stronger momentum, and we may see that euro dollar is keep pushing down to create a new lower low. If we look at the weekly chart, what we can see that from the weekly perspective, after the previous weekly bearish engulfer, this week we saw a narrow doji formation, which is the sign that the market is still bearish. As we see a narrow doji formation, we could see now a potential retest of this liquidity zone, which is the weekly resistance. And I think that euro dollar may push up for a pullback and then could continue to drop as the market is still bearish. If we look at the daily chart to see how the market is evolving, we can see that from the daily, there is a daily drop here, followed by only two narrow green candle formation in that area, followed by we can see a big red candle, followed by a long wick doji. Back to back three narrow doji formation has given euro dollar a very strong potential for pullback. As this market is exhausted like the euro dollar, we may see that the price is grabbing liquidity from here and then dropping back down to the main direction of the trend. So therefore, this is where if we look at the intraday perspective from 4-hour time frame, the market structure here is still bearish as just a mirror of DXY. The price is respecting the 10 EMA, which is a sign that also it's in a strong downtrend. We'll be waiting for on euro dollar for a potential break of structure, and we might see a potential trend continuation. If we see the market has broken up to the structure, grab that liquidity, we will be looking for going short on euro dollar. Now let's look at AUD USD. Let's see what kind of price action we might see looking at the monthly chart on AUD USD. Now from the monthly, we can see that also this is a currently bearish market. After back-to-back 2 months of strong momentum, we can see that AUD USD started to drop from that level, and with that drop, expecting AUD USD to come back to this support level. If we look at the weekly chart, what we can see that from the weekly perspective, also there was a strong bearish move followed by a weekly candle with a healthy body and long wick at the bottom, and we might see that AUD USD may continue to drop to the downside to create a new lower low. Now if we look at this body here on AUD USD, which has a healthy body, and we might see a weak fill on the downside on AUD USD. And if we look at the daily chart, we can see that from the daily perspective, this is the daily move here, which is a pretty strong drop, followed by we can see back-to-back 2 days of pullback. And what I think that on AUD USD, we might see that potential bounce here for a deeper pullback. So if we look at the Fibonacci perspective on AUD USD from starting of the move to the end of the move, we can see the market is almost heading to the 38.2% Fibonacci level, which is also aligning with the daily 20 EMA, and which is an important support here, resistance here, and also resistance here. We might see the market is moving up, grabbing liquidity, and then to dropping back down to the support level to create a new lower low. So this is where what I think that AUD USD might be grabbing liquidity and dropping back down. That could be the wave on AUD USD, as it is still in a downtrend. We can look for potential selling opportunity. Now let's look at British pound US dollar to see what kind of price action it is creating. British pound US dollar, looking at the monthly chart, what we can see that from the monthly perspective on GBPUSD, this is the monthly price action. We can see that there is a strong momentum on the monthly, back-to-back 3 months of bullish move on GBPUSD, followed by we can see that this is the monthly candle, which is in fact a very strong drop on the monthly. And what we can expect for this market to continue to drop, and I think that the price may continue to drop to the support level, where we can expect for the market to come down for a deeper pullback. And as the market is approaching this support, we might see initial pullback, and we may see that further trend continuation. If we look at the weekly chart, what we can see that from the weekly perspective, this is the weekly price action. We have seen there is a massive weekly drop followed by another weekly candle, which is a very narrow healthy body with a long wick at the bottom, and therefore we can expect on GBPUSD to come down to fill that long wick at the bottom. And this is an important support here on British pound US dollar, which is turning resistance, expecting for the market to come down and then to fill that wick on the weekly time frame. Now dropping down to the daily to see how the market might be doing. Now from the daily perspective, we can see that this is the daily impulse here. From here, pretty strong drop, and we can see that every day the market is forming series of lower high, which is an important price action. As we can see, it's still maintaining daily series of lower high, which is a sign that we might see a potential break of structure for liquidity. As this market is exhausted on the lower time frame, we might see initial bounce for grab liquidity and then to drop back down. Now from the 4-hour perspective, we can see that on GBPUSD, this is where we can see the market is in a very strong downtrend. There is a big drop, pullback, another drop, pullback. So the market is forming series of lower high, but at the same time we can see the market trend is getting exhausted slowly. Therefore, what we can expect on British pound US dollar for this market to revert back to the upside for a deeper pullback and then to drop back down to create a new lower low. So this is where what we can expect on British pound US dollar for the market to retest and then to drop back down to the major direction of the trend. Now let's look at dollar CAD. Let's see what kind of opportunity we have in dollar CAD. Now looking at the monthly chart on dollar CAD, we can see that from the monthly perspective, after the previous monthly narrow doji formation, this month we can see that dollar CAD, after initial pullback, we have seen a very strong upside here. In the third week of the month, we might see after initial pullback the market to continue to rise to create a new higher high. If we look at the weekly chart, we can see that from the weekly perspective, this is the weekly candle, which is in fact a very strong bullish price action, expecting on dollar CAD to come down for a deeper pullback and then to continue to upside to create a new higher high. So if we look at the daily chart, what we can see that from the daily, this is a notoriously bull market. We can see that there is a very strong bullish impulse on dollar CAD, and with that bullish impulse, what we can expect for this market to come back down to the support level, and what we could see initially the market to retest, potentially we could see a break of structure and then to bounce back up to create a new higher high. If we look at the 4-hour time frame, we can see that from the lower time frame the market structure is ultimately very strongly bullish. We can see the market is forming series of higher low, and along the way we saw that quite a few stronger liquidity candle formation that grabbed that massive amount of liquidity. And what we can expect in this market for the price to break below, and if we see that a potential break of structure, that could give us a stronger probability for dollar CAD to bounce back up to create a new higher high. So that could be the wave this week on dollar CAD. We will be waiting for initial break of structure like the DXY and then potential bullish trading opportunity. Now let's look at XAUUSD gold to see what kind of opportunity we have, looking at the monthly chart to see overall picture in the market. Now looking at the monthly on XAUUSD, we can see that from the monthly, this is a monthly impulse here on XAUUSD. From here we can see there is a very strong momentum and followed by pullback, and we can see that there is another momentum on XAUUSD. And with that said, as we can see after the retest of this monthly support on XAUUSD, we can expect for this market to retest, and I think that as the long-term picture is bullish, we may see that bigger picture is still bullish. Now let's look at the weekly chart to see how the market is evolving. Now weekly we can see a little a different picture. We can see back-to-back 2 weeks of rejection, which is last week we saw a pin bar, which a very strong bounce, which is a hanging man at the top of this uptrend. Now, what we can expect in this market, if we look at here, this is a resistance line, and if you closely look at, there is a half wick here expecting on XAUUSD. What I think that we might see either 50% of this wick to be retested, or might be breaking that high and then to coming back down for a deeper drop. Now, if we look at the daily chart, what we can see that from the daily on XAUUSD, this is the daily price action, back-to-back 2 days impulse, which in fact a very strong bullish price action. At the same time, we can see that there is a resistance here. This daily resistance also a high liquidity zone. As we can see from that level, there was a massive drop. And what I think that this week, as this is the weekly, if we closely look at again weekly high, we can see this is the weekly high. And from the daily, which is also the daily high, I think that the price might try to break this high, and then we can expect a potential pullback towards the downside. Now, looking at the 15 minutes from day trading perspective to see how XAUUSD is evolving here, what I think that there might be a potential downside here. What we could see on DXY, if we on XAUUSD, we can see that this is a bull flag, and this bull flag still has not been broken towards the downside properly. So there might be initial bounce here, grab liquidity, and then we could see the market dropping back down. Therefore, in this market, I will be waiting for potential breakup structure for potential downtrending market structure. As this market already exhausted to the upside, we might see short-term downward momentum on XAUUSD based on the real-time price action. Also, I will be posting updates in the channel. Guys and girls, if you're enjoying the live session, make sure you give a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't done yet. Now let's look at GBPJPY. Let's see what kind of opportunity we have. Looking at the monthly chart on GBPJPY, what we can see that from the monthly perspective, this is the monthly price action here on GJ. There is a monthly impulse on GJ, and with that monthly impulse, if we closely look at, we can see that the market is forming series of higher low in that area on GBPJPY, and with that series of higher low formation, what we can expect on GJ for the market to retest and then to revert back to the upside, as it is a long-term bull market. If we look at the weekly chart, we can see that from the weekly perspective, this is the weekly doji here, and with that weekly doji formation, where we can see the market basically form a very strong bullish price action. With this weekly doji, after the previous weekly bullish engulfer, this doji, what I think that on GJ also a sign of bullish continuation, as we can see that after this strong bullish candle, the market has formed another bullish doji. We have seen a strong rejection from the support level. We may see that the price is moving back to the upside. Now, if we look at the daily chart on GBPJPY, what we can see that from the daily perspective, this is a daily bullish market. The market is forming series of higher low, and we can see that there is a strong bullish engulfer here, followed by every day the market is grabbing liquidity and then bouncing back to the upside. Now, at the same time, we see series of lower high on the daily time frame, which signals that the trend most likely exhausted. And here on the 4-hour, we have an important clue to look at. If we look at the resistance line here, we can see that this is a resistance here, resistance here, resistance here, resistance here. So we can see back-to-back 4 rejection from that level, and at the same time, every time is rejecting, forming series of higher low, so which is a sign that the price is putting pressure on this resistance. At any point, we can expect for the market to break to the upside. Therefore, what we can expect, a liquidity grab before it fly to the upside. This could be the wave on GBPJPY. Now let's look at dollar yen. Let's see what kind of trading opportunity we have in dollar yen. Looking at the monthly chart to see overall picture in the market. Now we can see that from the monthly, dollar yen is bull market. We can see that after the back-to-back 3 months of drop to the support level on dollar yen, this is an important level of support. And what we can see that the market basically had a very strong momentum on the monthly, and we may see the price is continuing to the upside to create a new higher high. If we look at the weekly chart on dollar yen, we can see that from the weekly perspective, after the previous weekly strong bullish move, this week we saw a narrow doji formation. And what I think that the price might try to retest the support, as we can see that a strong bullish engulfer followed by a doji, which is, we can see the market tested this. Still there is a fair value gap here, and we might see that the price will try to break that fair value gap and then may continue to rise to the upside to create a new higher high. Now, if we look at the daily chart on dollar yen, we can see that from the daily perspective, this is the daily impulse. And we have seen that there is a daily liquidity candle formation in that area, which in fact also a very strong momentum to the upside. And therefore, what we can expect in this market is also a potential break of structure and then trend continuation. If we look at the 4-hour perspective on dollar yen, we can see that in this lower time frame, the market is forming series of higher low. We can see the market is forming series of higher low, and also at the same time, this is an important level of resistance where the market tested this resistance here, and also resistance here, expecting dollar yen for the market to break from the structure and then to continue to the upside with a stronger momentum. That could be the wave for the upcoming week on dollar yen. Now, these are the instrument traders will be looking for trading in the upcoming week, as well as any other additional instrument coming up. Also, I will be sharing the analysis on the channel. Make sure, guys and girls, you smash the like button and also hit that subscribe button. Also join the free Telegram channel for more education, free education, as well as the updated analysis. With that being said, thank you, and I'll see you soon in my next analysis.